Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is John with Addicted to Fishing. Today we got another new product, and we're going to talk about the way, or a little bit about this type of fishing. So anyway, today we're going to be breaking down the Core Tackle Scamper Rig. Right off the bat, I'm sure you guys are asking what a scamper rig is. What do you do with it? Why? And we're going to kind of break some of that down for you. So anyway, just like most all the other core tackles, this is a 2/0 1/16 weight. It's kind of the way it goes with core tackle. They put that lead on the shank of the hook. And the scamper rig is kind of a rig that came about with not just Matt, Stefan, and Johnny, but Matt Becker also, I guess, collaborated, if you will, on this rig. This does feature an Eagle Claw trocar hook. It gives you on the back specifics on how to rig it. Matt Stefan does a breakdown video on how he fishes it. So what is the scamper rig? Why are we using it? Well, a scamper rig is meant to be fished with a fluke. And you just pretty much go down through the nose of the bait, mark where you need it to come out. This one I won't really show you too much because it won't be that great, but you're going to end up with that. Without me completely rigging it up. I don't want to rig it up and have to take it off. This is a regular Zoom Super Fluke. You can also fish it on a bunch of the smaller minnow style baits. Let me see if I've got a minnow bait here handy. You guys know I love to fish that minnow bait. And I'm not talking about minnow baits with a paddle tail on them. We're talking about stuff without the paddle tail on it. And here we go. Here's a juggle minnow. This is how I threw it the last time I was out. Threw it on that little 6-inch juggle minnow. This is in that 4K shad. Great rig for that. And one of the things that I heard about this rig that kind of intrigued me, and some of the anglers were talking about it in a way that I wouldn't necessarily agree that I want to fish a fluke. So anyway, it is meant to weight down a fluke. So let's break down. There's two different weights, two different hook sizes. There's a 1/32 and a 1/16 on the weight, and they come 2 or 4/0. This again is in the 2/0. I bought these to fish the smaller flukes with, and what it's meant to do is to help keep that fluke down while you're fishing it. And a lot of the guys that I've seen reviewing or talking about it, they said that they no longer have to worry about their fluke popping the water surface or coming out of the water. Some people might call this the juice, but I'm here to tell you, I like my fluke to pop out of the water. This is going to be fished a little bit differently. I have thrown this and got really aggressive with it. And throwing it and getting really aggressive with it, I could still make it pop out of the water. Now, the cool thing about this rig, especially when you're fishing a little bit heavier bait, I have thrown it on just a regular medium moderate action bait casting rod. I believe I had 12-pound mono. And I was able to still work that bait and get it to pop out of the water. What you're trying to do with a fluke, as many of you know, is you're trying to imitate a dying fish. This is the soft bait world of a jerk bait. A lot of people still refer to them as a fluke. They're still called a fluke, but there's many different types of flukes now out there, and they're just being generically labeled as a soft jerk bait. I like to fish very aggressively with a fluke. I'm not the guy that always throws it out and just rip paws, and you're looking for that bait to kind of shimmy and represent a dying bait fish. That's why I like it when it comes up out of the water. If you've ever been around a schooling bass and you're watching the bait fish, they pop out of the water. You'll see them a lot of times darting, dancing, and you're seeing these bait fish being chased out of the water. The bass are feeding up. They're using that water surface to trap that bait fish. So a lot of times that minnow or bait fish is breaching the water. And I like to do that. And what I will do to replicate that, and I wish I had a hook out, and I do. This is a jig hook. So what I like to do with it is you can fish it you can do it a couple of different ways. If you come out really close and narrow to the head of the bait, you're going to get one type of action. If you leave it in and you come out deeper into that belly slot, you're going to get a different type of action. The little nose hook action definitely creates the more of that popping out of the water. The other way will help keep it down. You can fish this on a donkey rig, which a lot of people, it's just a double fluke rig. I've seen a guy actually with a triple fluke rig. I don't dare go to a triple fluke rig. I've done the double fluke rig or the donkey rig, and it represents two bait fish chasing each other. Sometimes what I like to do with that is I put a bigger bait in the front and a smaller bait in the front, or big bait in the back, smaller bait in the front. Key to fishing that donkey rig is having one of your leaders, we'll say 10 to 12 inches long, and the other one about 18 to 24 inches long to keep them from wrapping around each other. And you also want to incorporate a swivel. A lot of people will add that swivel to just a regular fluke rig. I don't. Just like this on the Scamper rig, I tie directly to the line tie, and I will actually bury this hook eye into the nose of the bait. A couple other tricks that you can do, and I don't have one available, is you can insert a hitchhiker and then feed through the hitchhiker. Keeps the bait from being pulled off. It's a great way to do it, especially if you want to nose hook it. You can thread your hitchhiker and literally come through on this side of the fluke, go through the hitchhiker and come out. Now you have it nose hooked, Texas rigged, weedless, exposed. There's lots of different ways that you can throw the fluke and utilize the fluke or a soft jerk bait. Again, what I was looking for when I picked up the Scamper rigs is I was looking for something to help when I'm fishing in a little bit deeper water, or I'm not fishing around where bait fish are being chased and are busting the surface, and I want to keep it down. Again, when I was throwing this, I was throwing it in a small pond. I actually had it rigged up on, let me see if I can find it here. I had it rigged up on a Gary Yamamoto scope shad. I don't know if I'll be able to find the scope shad right off the cuff. Some of you already know what a scope shad is, know what the scope shad looks like. Yep, here's the scope shad. I took the little scope shad, I threaded it up on there, and you can see it's a fluke-like bait. Got that forked tail in the back. I make sure my fork is open. This actually happens to be the one that I was throwing. Out of all of them, you get like 8 in the pack. I pulled out the exact same one. This is in a natural shad color. And that Scamper rig worked really well on that little 3-inch bait. And I was, again, fishing it aggressively. I was able to pop it up out of the water. But a lot of times this time of the year, the fish aren't schooling. So I'm not worried about my fluke or my soft jerk bait breaching the water, coming up out of the water. I want to keep it down. Once I seen this, I knew exactly how that was going to work, and it fulfilled my spot in the arsenal very, very well. I've got yet another new bait coming, or new rig coming from Core Tackle. I'm really, really excited about what Core Tackle's bringing. They keep delivering some really, really cool, innovative products, guys. If you haven't checked out Core Tackle, I highly recommend that you do. One of the things I can already see with that Scamper rig is fishing quite a few different methods. I'm not going to talk about them until I actually get out and fish them, but there's several different ways I can see that working. So if you're looking for something to help you keep a soft jerk bait down, I highly recommend you using that Scamper rig. You can go out and find Fish the Moment or Matt Steffen's channel, and he shows you some on the water on both of those channels. Johnny and Matt show you on the water video footage of that bait. They talk about it a little more detail. Of course, they're the guys that are designing that bait, but it's definitely innovative. Everything that Core Tackle is doing, I highly recommend that you check them out. If you go to coretackle.com, some of the stuff is exclusive to coretackle.com right now. You can check out all their products and order straight from Core Tackle. If you do spend $50, you do get free shipping. Really, really good products that are on there. One of the products that I'm probably not going to get is the core hair, or the hair core, whatever it's called. It's a little hair jig that's meant to be fished on a drop shot. Kind of what Matt is saying that they're doing is they're trying to find things in the industry that there's a void, or ways that they can improve it and make it fish better. Anyway, putting that weight on the shank of the hook definitely helps. That's an O'Shaughnessy style hook. That's what you really like to have on a hook. It's just got that right bend on it. Anyway, guys, that's the Scamper rig. How you fish it. Again, I'm just throwing it out, fishing it just like a regular, any type of soft jerk bait that you're fishing. The Scamper rig helps you keep that down. Again, it's available 1/32 and 1/16 in either a 2/0 or 4/0 hook, depending on what your needs are. I got them all, I think, in a 1/16 ounce. I might have got a 32nd ounce as well, but I got them all in a 2/0 because I plan to fish them on the smaller baits. These bigger baits that have got a little bit heavier salt in them, I don't have a problem unweighted keeping them down, or inserting a little nail weight into them and helping them keep down that way. I probably will at some point pick up the 4/0, just so I don't have to mess with adding a nail weight that usually gets thrown when the first time I catch a fish. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the video. We hope to see you in the next one. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, please. It really means a lot to me. Share, like, comment. Let me know your favorite way to fish the fluke. What's your favorite bait to throw? Which one? Are you just a straight fluke guy? Are you fishing some of the other soft jerk baits? This is the time of the year to be throwing them when that water's still cold. If they're keyed in on some of the bigger jerk baits, I go to the bigger profile flukes or soft jerk bait styles. I've got some downsized ones all the way down to little bitty finesse size. Sometimes they're not into that loud rattling that a jerk bait gets, so I like to come in with just a regular soft jerk bait. And I seem to pick up a few more fish. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching the video. We'll see you in the next one.